Hello! I am Teacher Aubrey and welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about the different punctuation marks. Kaya kung nalilito ka kung paano gagamitin ang period, exclamation point, question mark, at iba't iba pa na kadalasan nating ginagamit sa paggawa ng sentence, ng essay, or ng paragraph, this video is perfect for you. Let's begin! Punctuation marks. What are punctuation marks? Well, basically, punctuation marks are symbols that aid the clarity and comprehension of the written language. So, ito yung mga ginagamit nating tanda para mas maging malinaw yung gusto nating iparating. Lalo na kung tayo ay sumusulat dahil nakikita siya kapag tayo ay nagbabasa. Maaaring sabihin ko na ang ganda ng paligid, tuwang-tuwa ako sa paligid. Ang sarap makita ng mga iba't ibang kulay na nakapintura sa dingding. Gayon din ang iba't ibang mga halaman, ng iba't ibang mga bulaklak. Anong mapapansin ninyo? Tuloy-tuloy yung ginawa kong pagsasalita. Maaaring dahil kulang o may nawawalang tamang punctuation mark. Ngayon, malalaman natin gaano sila kahalaga sa ating written language. English man yan or Filipino. Let's take a look at these punctuation marks. There are many other punctuation marks, but I decided to focus in these 7 because they are the most common punctuation marks that we can encounter when we are reading or when we are going to write. Let's take a look at them. We have the period or the full stop. Pero sanay tayong mga Pilipino na tawagin yung period. Okay? Isa lang naman ang kahulugan yan. We also have the exclamation mark. Ito siya. We also have the question mark, comma, semicolon, colon, and the apostrophe. Among these 7 common punctuation marks, they are divided into 2. We have the terminal and the pauses. So, among these 7, tatlo sa kanila yung terminal. Nabibilang sa terminal, we have the period, the exclamation mark, and the question mark. Silang tatlo yun. At yung kabilang naman sa tinatawag nating pauses ay itong 4. The comma, semicolon, colon, and apostrophe. Ngayon, mas alamin natin isa-isa kung paano at saan nga ba natin sila dapat na gamitin. Now, let us take a closer look at the terminal punctuation marks. When we say terminal punctuation marks, they are the marks that we are using to end sentences. Sila yung mga marka o mga tanda na ginagamit natin kapag patapos ang isang pangungusap. Mayroon tayong tatlo. We have the period or the full stop. We have the exclamation mark. And we have the question mark. Alam mo ba kung saan ginagamit ang period? Ang exclamation mark, alam mo ba kung saan yan ginagamit? Paano naman ang question mark? Nasubukan mo na rin bang gamitin? Sigurado ako maraming pagkakataon na. Ngayon, simulan nating aralin itong period or full stop na pinakamadalas nating gamitin sa kanilang lahat. Now, let's discuss the terminal punctuation marks. Let's begin first with the period. As I told you, kaya tinawag nating terminal punctuation mark ay dahil hudyat yon na tapos na yung pangungusap. Ang pinakamadalas nga nating gamitin ay ang period o sa Filipino ay tuldok. Tinatawag siya, maaari siyang tawagin in English na period, maaari ring full stop. So if you would ask, what is this AME and what is that BRE? For the American English, AME means American English. For the American English na sinusunod nating mga Filipino, ay period ang tawag. Pero for the British English, tinatawag yun na full stop. Pero ang nakasanayan natin ay period. Ang period ay used to mark the end of 2 types of sentences. Ginagamit natin ang tuldok o period dito sa dalawang uri ng pangungusap na to para tapusin sila. Una ay ang declarative sentence at ang ikalawa ay ang imperative sentence. Ano ang pinagkaiba nila? Declarative sentences are the sentences that give information, nagpapahayag ng impormasyon o detalye. Samantalang, ang imperative sentence naman ay nagpapahayag ng commands or requests. Tingnan natin yung mga halimbawa. We have, for the declarative sentence, I teach English. I just stated, sinabi ko na nagtuturo ako ng English. So to end that sentence, I put a period. I teach English. And to end that sentence, I put a period because that is a declarative sentence or a sentence in which I just give an information or I just stated a detail. Alright? Subukan mong mag-isip ng halimbawa. Ilagay mo sa comment section sa ibaba para mabasa ko. Mag-isip pa tayo ng ibang halimbawa. For the declarative sentence, we may say that the students are excited. The students are excited. That is an example of declarative sentence dahil nagbigay ako ng impormasyon at ng detalye na ang mga mag-aaral ay nasasabik or excited. Ano pa? English is useful. English is useful. That is a detail. That is an information being stated. Kaya ang ginamit natin dyan ay period. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the second kind of sentence na ginagamitan ng punctuation mark na period, which is the imperative sentence. As I told you, imperative sentence shows commands or requests. Okay? The example sentence we have here is, please don't tell her my secret. Please don't tell her my secret. So, it shows a request. Nagre-request ka na pakiusap. Huwag mong sabihin sa kanya ang aking sikreto. Ang gagamitin pa rin doon ay period o tuldok. Okay? At gayon din naman, maaari kayong mag-isip, ano ba yung mga karaniwang commands or request na sinasabi nyo? Kapag susulat kayo ng mga kalintulad nito, ng imperative sentence, if you will express a command or request, huwag niyong kalimutan na ang dapat gamitin ay period or full stop. Ano pa yung karaniwan? Pwede nating sabihin let me know if you will come after lunch. Ipaalam mo sa akin, no? Maaring nag-utos ka or nagre-request ka. Ang gagamitin dyan ay period. Very basic dahil yan yung karaniwan nating ginagamitan ng tuldok. Understand? Subukan mong mag-isip ng halimbawa at ilagay mo sa ating comment section sa ibaba. Let's take a closer look at our second terminal punctuation mark, which is the exclamation mark. Tandang padamdam ang tawag dyan in Filipino, or in English, exclamation mark. Karaniwan, nai-encounter natin ito kapag sa chat, sa messages, kapag nagagalit tayo o matindi yung bugso ng damdamin habang sinasabi natin or tinatype natin ng isang particular na mensahe. Ginagamitan natin ng exclamation mark. Maaaring kapag sobrang saya natin, kapag galit na galit tayo, kapag naiinis tayo. Kaya, tandaan natin na ang paggamit ng exclamation mark, dapat maingat tayo dahil nagpapahatid yan ng isang matinding damdamin or strong emotion. The exclamation mark, which is this symbol, tandaan nyo ha, guhit na ganon at tuldok sa ibaba, is used to convey strong emotion. It has something to do with strong emotion. Kaya kapag may matindi kang gustong iparating na mensahe, na may matinding damdamin, masidhing damdamin, pwedeng sobrang saya mo, sobrang galit ka, sobrang lungkot, o kung anumang damdamin, maaaring gamitan ng exclamation mark. Ngayon, tingnan natin itong dalawang halimbawa. We have here the first one, na ginamitan ng period or full stop. While on the second example, ginamitan naman siya ng exclamation mark. Let's try to read using the proper emotion. For the first one, we have, I'm really excited to see him. I'm really excited to see him. Bakit ko siya ganun binasa? Dahil ang ginamit na punctuation mark is period or full stop, in which nagbigay lang ako ng impormasyon na excited ako na makita siya, nasasabik ako na makita siya. Pero may mali. Anong mali? Excited ako, pero hindi ko ginamitan ng exclamation mark. Ang dapat gamitin dyan para talagang mapatunayan mong excited ka whenever you are going to write that statement is to use the punctuation mark, exclamation mark. So, paano? Babasahin itong pangalawa. We are going to read this as, I'm really excited to see him. I'm really excited to see him. Yun, totoong excited yun. Kasi, ginamitan na natin siya ng punctuation mark na exclamation mark. Okay? Ngayon, subukan nyo nga mag-isip ng mga statement na kung saan naranasan yung magpahayag ng isang bagay na nagpapakita ng strong emotion ninyo. Pakilagay nyo nga sa comment section sa ibaba at para mabasa ko. Iba pang halimbawa na ginagamitan ng exclamation mark ay yung mga tinatawag nating interjections or short phrases na nagpapakita ng strong emotion such as, wow! Pag sinulat natin yung wow, hindi pwedeng ganyan lang. Hindi pwedeng tuldok. Dahil pag binasa mo yan, it's just as simple as, wow, walang emosyon. So, para magkaroon ng damdamin, sasabihin natin ay, wow! Maaaring nabigla ka, nagulat ka. Maaaring mo naman sabihin, uh-oh. Pag binasa mo ito, sasabihin mo lang na, uh-oh. Wala kang pakiramdam. Pero ang tamang sabihin, ang tamang damdamin dyan ay, oo, para kang nagtataka na nagtatanong. Gagamitan mo rin ang exclamation mark. Okay? Ano pa? Maaari kang sumigaw. Sinabi mong, stop. Stop, wala kang emosyon. Pero dahil gusto mong sigawan siya at patigilin siya, ang dapat na gamitin mo ay exclamation mark, which is this one. Kaya pag binasa na yan is, stop. Ulitin natin, kapag ginamitan lang natin ang tuldok, walang masidhing damdamin. Kaya dapat tatandaan natin na whenever we are going to convey a strong emotion in our sentences, we need to use the punctuation mark, exclamation mark. Okay? We have, I'm really excited to see him. Wow! Uh-oh! And stop! Those are the examples. Let us now have our third and last terminal punctuation, which is the question mark. Question mark. Or in Filipino, tinatawag yan bilang tandang pananong. Tandang pananong. In English, question mark. Saan nga ba natin siya ginagamit? Well, obviously, question mark, we use that for asking questions. The question mark, having this symbol, is used to mark the end of a question. Hindi tayo maaaring magsulat ng isang tanong na hindi natin ginagamitan ng question mark sa dulo dahil mali iyon. Kulang. Para matapos natin ng tama ang isinulat nating tanong, dapat ay wakasan natin siya sa pamamagitan ng question mark o tandang pananong. Ano nga ba yung karaniwang mga tanong ninyo? Sige nga, subukan nga ninyong buuin sa isipan ninyo. At kung nabuo na ninyo sa isipan ninyo, why not try to put your answer on the comment section below? And I'm going to see your answers. We have here different examples of questions in which there is this question mark at the last part. Let's read them one by one. The first one is, what makes you happy? What makes you happy? The second one we have is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn? The third one is, who cooked the meal? Who cooked the meal? And the last one we have is, are you disappointed about what you discovered? Are you disappointed about what you discovered? Pansinin niyo yung intonation ko. Ano yung intonation? Kapag nagtatanong tayo, meron tayong tinatawag na intonation. Well, bonus lang to dito sa pinag-aaralan natin. Yun yung tamang pagtaas at pagbaba ng boses kapag magbabasa tayo ng maaaring ng pangungusap o ng tanong. Pansinin natin na dito sa una at sa pangatlo, ang intonation or ang intonasyon natin ay pababa lang. Binasa ko siya na, what makes you happy? What makes you happy? Hindi pataas, di ba? Pantay lang or pababa. What makes you happy? And the other is, who cooked the meal? Who cooked the meal? Pansinin niyo yung intonation ko doon. Bakit ko siya binasa ng ganon? Dahil ang sagot sa tanong na ito ay direct answer. Magbibigay ng direktang sagot. Kapag ganon ang isang tanong, babasahin niyo siya na falling intonation. Pero pansinin natin ito. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn? At yung isa pa is, are you disappointed about what you discovered? Are you disappointed about what you discovered? Pansinin ninyo ang intonation ko dito sa dalawang ito ay pataas or rising intonation dahil ang sagot sa tanong na yan ay maaaring yes or no. Kapag ganun ang sagot sa isang tanong ay rising intonation nyo siya babasahin. At muli balikan natin dito sa question mark. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga salita in English na ginagamit natin sa pagtatanong? Mayroon tayong tinatawag na WH. We have the what, where, who, when, why, and how. Kapag yun ang umpisa ng inyong pangungusap at nagtatanong kayo, lagi ninyong gagamitan ng question mark. O kaya naman kapag inumpisahan ninyo ang inyong pangungusap na nagtatanong kayo, ginamitan nyo ng are, be verb na are or is, are you happy? Is she happy? Patanong pa rin yun, kaya dapat gamitan ng question mark. Madali lang naman siya dahil karaniwan, kahit saan tayo magtungo, kahit anong panahon ng buhay natin, may mga tanong tayo sa isipan natin. At kapag ipapahayag natin yon, huwag natin kalimutang ipahayag sa tamang paraan, gamitan ng question mark para laging maging angkop. Those are the three terminal punctuations. We have the period or the full stops. We also have the exclamation mark and the question mark. Madali lang silang tatlo. Lagi lang nating tandaan kung saan nga ba sila ginagamit. Ngayon, subukan nating sagutin itong short exercise. Maaari niyong i-pause sandali itong video at sagutan ninyo kung ano yung tamang punctuation mark ang ilalagay natin sa kanila. Mamimili lang kayo sa tatlo, the period or full stop, exclamation mark, and question mark. Okay, let's try to answer. For number 1, Filipinos are hospitable. They are also generous. Filipinos are hospitable. They are also generous. So we have one complete sentence, Filipinos are hospitable. That is a declarative sentence in which a particular information was given na ang mga Pilipino ay hospitable. We have to use period at sinundan ng they are also generous. Kahalintulad ng unang pangungusap, itong second sentence na they are also generous is also a kind of declarative sentence na nagpapahayag ng detalye or nagsistate ng particular information na sila rin ay mapagbigay. Dahil declarative sentence siya, gagamitan din natin ng period. Pansinin natin, after ng isang pangungusap, after ng huling letter ng isang pangungusap, kapag gagamit tayo ng tuldok, walang space. Kahit pag magta-type kayo sa laptop, sa computer, or sa chat messages, or sa text, dapat ay walang space. Pero pagkatapos nung tuldok na yun, magkakaroon dapat ng isang space bago simulan yung panibagong salita. That's it. Filipinos are hospitable. They are also generous. For the second sentence, I am going to school. Do you want to come along? I am going to school. That is a declarative sentence. Tuldok. At may space na sa pagitan ng tuldok at nung kasunod na salita. Do you want to come along? Gusto mo bang sumama? Nagtatanong ka. So what we have to use is a question mark. I'm going to school. Do you want to come along? That's it. For number 3, why do you hurt me? I hate you. Why do you hurt me? I hate you. walang emosyon. Lagyan natin ng emosyon, lagyan natin ng tamang terminal punctuation. Why do you hurt me? Nagtatanong ka, bakit mo ako sinaktan? So, we need to use the question mark. Why do you hurt me? After the question mark, there must be a space before you begin the first word of the next sentence. Okay? Kahit sa pagsulat o kapag kayo ay magta-type or magcha-chat, magte-text, ganun lagi. Why do you hurt me? I hate you. So there should be a strong emotion. I hate you. What you have to use is an exclamation mark because you convey a strong emotion that you hate that person who hurt you. Why do you hurt me? I hate you. Once again, let's take a look at all these sentences. For number 1, Filipinos are hospitable. They are also generous. Take a look at the terminal punctuations that we used. Number 2, I'm going to school. Do you want to come along? Rising intonation dahil ang sagot sa tanong na yan ay pwedeng yes or no. And for number 3, why do you hurt me? Why do you hurt me? That's falling intonation dahil ang sagot sa tanong na yan ay direct answer. Bibigay siya ng dahilan bakit niya sinaktan. And I hate you! I hate you! Ginamitan natin ang exclamation mark dahil nagpahayag ng isang masidhing damdamin. Subukan niyong mag-isip ng mga halimbawa na gagamitan niyo ng pinagsama-samang tatlong ito. Pakilagay sa comment section sa ibaba. Now let's move on to the other kind of punctuation mark, which is the pauses. Pauses. Pauses tell the reader to stop briefly and then continue reading. Itong mga punctuation mark na kabilang sa pauses ay yung mga tanda na kung saan hudyat sila, nahihinto tayo saglit para huminga. Huminga saglit lang. Ano-ano nga ba yan? Mayroon tayong comma, comma. Hindi siya binabasa na comma. Ang basa dyan ay comma. We'll also have semicolon, semicolon, and also colon. Ano ba sila sa Filipino? Comma, tinatawag sa Filipino bilang kuwit. Kuwit. Semicolon, ang tawag dyan sa Filipino ay tutuldok, kuwit. Tutuldok, kuwit. Ito siya. At ang colon naman, ang tawag dyan sa Filipino ay tutuldok. Tutuldok. Ngayon, alamin natin isa-isa, saan nga ba natin sila ginagamit? Let's now have the first kind of punctuation mark for pauses. We have comma. Comma. It's not comma, it's comma. Or in Filipino, tinatawag natin siya na kuwit. Kuwit. Ito siya. May apat tayong pinagagamitan ng comma or kuwit. Unahin muna natin itong dalawa. Una, ginagamit natin siya for separate items in a list. Or mayroon tayong mga nais sabihin na iba't ibang bagay na kabilang doon sa category na yon. Example, I saw a tiger, eagle, and ostrich at the zoo. I saw a tiger, eagle, and ostrich at the zoo. Pansinin natin, gumamit tayo ng comma dito, dito, pero sa pinakahuli, wala na tayong ginamit na comma. Gumamit na tayo ng tuldok. Gagamit lang tayo ng comma para paghiwa-hiwalayin yung mga babanggitin nating different items sa isang particular category na nasa sentence. Dito, bumanggit tayo ng iba't ibang uri ng hayop na nakita niya doon sa zoo. We have the tiger, the eagle, and ostrich. Kapag sa isang pangungusap, ang panghuli dun sa list, karaniwan ay mayroon ng salitang end. Tiger, eagle, and ostrich. Dito, kapag nakita nyo or gumamit na kayo ng end, bago nyo sabihin yung pangatlong doon sa list of items sa pangungusap ninyo, maaari pa rin naman kayong gumamit ng comma. Pwedeng hindi, pwedeng oo. Pero para mas maipakita nyo na nagbigay kayo ng list, gumamit na kayo ng comma. Maaring pwede, maaari rin namang hindi. I saw a tiger, eagle, and ostrich at the zoo. At gaya nga na lagi kong sinasabi sa inyo, kapag gagamit kayo ng punctuation mark, after the last letter of the word, walang space or walang puwang. Isusulat nyo agad yung punctuation mark, and then after that, before you begin a new word in your sentence, maglalagay kayo ng space. Alright? You see the space there? After the comma. That's it. And for the second use of comma, ginagamit din natin siya for separate words that are not part of the sentence. Dun sa mga salitang nakahiwalay na maaaring alisin siya sa bahagi ng pangungusap ninyo. Look at these examples. Shan, please close the door. Another is, sadly, I discovered the truth. At the first example we have is, Shan, please close the door. Dito, ginagamit ang comma sa mga address or dun sa mga pangalan na babanggitin mo sa pangungusap mo. Karaniwan, kapag may kausap ka, ginagamit mo ito. So in this sentence, we have Shan. Si Shan yung kausap ko. Bago ko sabihin, please close the door, nilagyan ko muna ng comma. It means huminto ako saglit. Shan, please close the door. Kapag gumamit kayo ng panawag sa isang tao, Shan or any names, kapag isusulat niyo iyon, ay gagamitan ninyo ng comma after the name. Shan, please close the door. Ken, please turn off the camera. At ginagamit din natin ito sa mga adverbs. Ano ba yung mga adverbs? Ito yung mga salita gaya ng sadly, unfortunately, frequently. Ano po? Kapag gagamitin nyo yun sa pangungusap, gaya rito, sadly, I discovered the truth. Sadly, I discovered the truth. Gumamit din ng comma. Alright? Now, let's take a look at the other examples for the second usage of comma, in which for the separate words that are not part of a sentence, we are also using comma for salutation, for closing. Salutation, yan yung pambungad na sinasabi natin kapag susulat tayo ng isang formal letter or kung para kanino yung letter, ina-address natin siya. We may say, dear sir, dear, the name of the person you would like to address. But there is a difference. Kapag sa British English, ang ginagamit natin ay comma after the salutation. Dear sir, or dear, the name of the person you would like to address. And for the American English, siguro meron kayong na-encounter na formal letter or nung nag-aaral kayo, na-encounter nyo rin na gumamit kayo ng colon. Yan ang standard for the American English. Colon ang ginagamit. Dear sir, colon. Dear Isa, colon. That's it. At ginagamit din naman ang comma for closing. Sa formal letter, di ba? Bago nyo tapusin yung sulat ninyo, maaaring sabihin, yours faithfully, comma, sincerely yours, comma, yours truly, comma, respectfully yours, comma, or in Filipino, nagmamahal, comma. Those are the examples. Now, let us take a look at the third usage of comma. We also use comma for separate linking words, such as however, therefore, for example. Ilan yan sa mga halimbawa ng mga linking words na ginagamit natin sa sentence in English. Maaari rin gamitin yung in fact, thus, hence, but let's just focus in these examples. Let's take a look at the sentence. For the first sentence, she wants to join the game. She wants to join the game, period. However, she doesn't seem ready. So, let's take a look. Gumamit tayo ng linking word na however. In Filipino, however is gayunman. Nais niyang sumali sa palaro. Gayunman, tila hindi pa siya handa. So, kapag gumamit tayo ng however, after nyan, bago tayo mag-proceed sa susunod na salita sa pangungusap, gagamitan muna natin ng comma. Alright? Next example. Lucy is decisive to get what she wants. Period. Therefore, she does everything to achieve them. In Filipino, desididong si Lucy na makuha ang gusto niya. Kaya naman, in Filipino, therefore is kaya naman. Alright? Therefore, comma, she does everything to achieve them. Kaya naman, gagawin niya ang lahat para makuha sila. And once again, ginagamit siya for separate linking words tulad ng however, therefore, pwede rin for example. Subukan nyo nga mag-isip. Titingnan ko, pakilagay ninyo sa comment section sa ibaba. And lastly, let's take a look at the last usage of comma, in which ginagamit natin siya to connect independent clauses into dependent clauses. Ano nga ba yung clauses or clause? In Filipino, tinatawag natin ang clause bilang sugnay. Independent clause is sugnay na makapag-iisa. Sila yung mga pangungusap o sugnay na kayang tumayo sa sarili nilang paa. Or in English, another term for independent clause is complete sentence. Isang buong pangungusap, may kumpletong kaisipan. On the other hand, dependent clause, in Filipino, that is sugnay na hindi makapag-iisa. Hindi makapag-iisa kasi nga, nakadepende lang siya. Dependent clause. Nakadepende siya sa independent clause para magkaroon siya ng kabuluhan o kahulugan sa isang pangungusap. Ngayon, tingnan natin itong halimbawa kung paano ginamit yung comma dito sa ating independent and dependent clause. If you study well, comma, you might pass the exam. In Filipino, kung mag-aaral ka ng mabuti, maaari kang makapasa sa pagsusulit. Let's take a look at the first one. If you study well, kung mag-aaral ka ng mabuti, ano? Alisin natin to. Kung mag-aaral ka ng mabuti, ano? Kulang. Kapag ganyan, ang isang clause, tinatawag natin niyang dependent clause dahil hindi buo yung kaisipan niya. Magkakaroon lang siya ng kabuluhan kung idudugtong or nakarugtong siya sa isang independent clause. Kaya ang tawag rito ay dependent clause. Ginamitan natin siya ng comma after natin isulat bago natin idugtong yung independent clause. Let's take a look at the independent clause. You might pass the exam. Maaari kang makapasa sa pagsusulit. Buo ba yung kaisipan? Yes, buo. Kasi yan ay tinatawag nating independent clause or sugnay na makapag-iisa. Kahit alisin natin ito, buo pa rin yung kaisipan niya. At pinaghiwalay natin ang dependent clause at independent clause gamit ang comma. That's it. Now let's take a look at another example. I was so happy when I saw Rita. Napakasaya ko nang makita ko si Rita. Dito muna tayo tumingin. Huwag muna natin pansinin yan. I was so happy. Napakasaya ko. Buo ba yung kaisipan ng pangungusap? Buo. Dahil yan ay tinatawag nating independent clause. After we wrote the independent clause, ginamitan natin ng comma at idinugtong natin itong dependent clause. Ngayon mag-focus lang tayo kay dependent clause. When I saw Rita, in Filipino that is, nang makita ko si Rita. Ano ngayon kung makita mo siya? Dahil hindi buo yung kaisipan yan, yun ang tinatawag natin na dependent clause or sugnay na hindi makapag-iisa. Or in English, tinatawag rin natin siya na subordinate clause. Dumidepende lang siya doon sa independent clause para magkaroon ng kabuluhan yung kahulugan niya. Okay? So, para paghiwalayin natin ng isang independent clause and dependent clause sa English, gagamit tayo ng comma. Once again, if you study well, comma, you might pass the exam. Another example, I was so happy, comma, when I saw Rita. Let's have other examples. Oops, but before we proceed to the other examples, we have a common error in the English grammar that most users are commonly committing. Ano nga ba to? Ito yung common error natin sa paggamit natin ng comma. May tinatawag tayong comma splice. Comma splice. And what is that? That is connecting two independent clauses with only a comma. Or, iyan yung pagkakamaling karaniwan na pinagdudugtong natin yung dalawang independent clauses or dalawang sugnay na makapag-iisa o dalawang pangungusap gamit lang ang comma. Kanina, sa halimbawang ibinigay ko, maaari nating gamitin ang comma kung ang pinagdugtong natin ay isang independent at isang dependent clause. Pero kapag dalawang independent clauses na ang pagdudugtungin natin, mali na nagagamitan lang natin ng comma. Ano ang maaaring gamitin para maging tama yung karaniwang pagkakamaling ito? For the first independent clause and for the other independent clause, maaaring ang gamitin natin sa kanila para maipagdugtong sila ay ang mga coordinating conjunctions. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga coordinating conjunctions? We have and, but, or. In Filipino, that is at, pero, at, o. Or nagbigay ka ng choice. Ngayon, subukan nating itama itong pangungusap na narito. Basahin natin. They give an incentive. That is an independent clause. Nagbigay sila ng incentive, isang buong pangungusap. Ginamitan ng comma. That is wrong. Itatama natin. The employees are grateful for it. Ang mga trabahador ay naging mapagpasalamat para rito. Isang buong pangungusap rin yun. Subalit ano ang mali? Na ginamitan natin ng comma. Ngayon, anong gagamitin natin? For the coordinating conjunctions, kung naalala nyo, may tinatawag tayong fanboys para madaling matandaan. We have the for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Isa doon yung so. Or in Filipino, kaya naman. Dito sa pangungusap natin na to, gagamitin natin ay so para tumpak dito sa kaisipan ng pangungusap. We have, they give an incentive. So, the employees are grateful for it. They give an incentive, so the employees are grateful for it. May comma pa rin, pero may so. So, the employees are grateful for it. They give an incentive, so the employees are grateful for it. Sa ganung paraan, maitatama natin yung karaniwang pagkakamali na tinatawag nating comma splice. And for the other examples, for the uses of comma, ginagamit din natin siya for relative or adjective clause. Ano nga ba ang adjective clause? That is a phrase or a clause in which we are using to give more description about our subject or about the noun in the sentence. Now, let's take a look at them. Nahahati sila sa dalawa. May tinatawag tayong essential clause at may tinatawag rin tayong non-essential clause. Kung ang clause ay essential or in Filipino, mahalaga, hindi pwedeng mawala, hindi natin ginagamitan ng comma. Pero, kapag ang clause ay tinuturing na nating non-essential, pag sinabing non-essential, sila yung kahit alisin natin, buo pa rin yung kaisipan ng pangungusap, ginagamitan na sila ng comma. Maaaring lagyan ng isang comma kapag nasa hulihan siya, bago siya isulat, comma muna, o kaya naman kapag nasa gitna siya, sineseparate siya gamit ang comma sa pagitan niya. Tingnan natin itong mga halimbawa. Para sa essential, we have that man is the coach of their team. Karaniwan, ginagamit nating mga salita for the relative or adjective clause. Sinisimula natin sa salitang that, which, who. Kaya pag may nabasa kayong ganon, that is a relative or adjective clause. Dito sa pangungusap na to, that man is the coach of their team. Gumamit tayo ng that. Pero, ang ginamit nating that dito ay essential. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin pwedeng alisin yung that man. Dahil mahalaga siya. Siya yung pinaka-pinag-uusapan. Kapag ganyan ang sitwasyon, hindi natin gagamitan ng comma. So, huwag na natin isipin yan. Tingnan natin itong non-essential na relative or adjective clause dahil dito tayo gumagamit ng comma. The example we have here is, my friend Jill, whom I knew through Facebook, just got a job at SM. My friend Jill, whom I knew through Facebook, ngayon ito, whom I knew through Facebook. Pansinin natin na ihiniwalay ito, ginamitan ng comma sa pagitan. Dahil yan ay tinatawag nating non-essential relative or adjective clause. Bakit non-essential? Dahil kahit alisin natin yan sa pangungusap, buo pa rin ang kaisipan ng pangungusap. Tuloy natin. My friend Jill, whom I knew through Facebook, just got a job at SM. Gaya nga nasabi ko, for the non-essential, kapag nasa gitna siya nakalagay, ihihiwalay siya sa independent clause gamit ang comma sa pagitan niya. Gagamitan ng dalawang comma. 1, 2. So, kahit alisin natin siya, subukan nating alisin. Whom I knew through Facebook. Basahin natin nang wala siya. My friend Jill just got a job at SM. Buo pa rin ang kaisipan ng pangungusap kahit alisin natin itong non-essential relative or adjective clause. Now, let's try to answer this short exercise to see how well you understand the comma. Meron tayo ditong tatlo. I-pause nyo saglit ang inyong video para masagutan ninyo. Basahin natin. Number 1. Unless you finish your meal, you can't have any dessert. Unless you finish your meal, you can't have any dessert. Number 2. The leading websites are Google, YouTube, and Facebook. Number 3. Jezreel, kindly lend me your salary. Pause for a while the video and then answer. Try to answer this. Put your answers on the comment section below. Now let's try to reveal the answers. For number 1, unless you finish your meal, you can't have any dessert. In the first sentence, we have your combination of dependent clause. This is a dependent clause, unless you finish your meal. Because there is no complete thought. Maliban na lang, kung mauubos mo ang iyong pagkain, kulang, di ba? That is a dependent clause. And followed by an independent clause. You can't have any dessert. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng kahit na anong dessert. So, where should we place the comma? Unless you finish your meal, comma, you can't have any dessert. That's for number 1. Number 2, the leading websites are Google, YouTube, and Facebook. Pansinin natin, dito sa second example, ay nagbigay tayo ng list. In which pasok siya sa category ng different websites. We have the Google, YouTube, and Facebook. So, we have to separate them using comma. The leading websites are Google, comma, there should be a space. YouTube, comma, there should be a space, and Facebook. The leading websites are Google, comma, YouTube, comma, and Facebook. Period. And for the last example, Jezreel, kindly lend me your salary. So in this example, tinatawag ko si Jezreel. I address his name. Kausap ko siya. So gaya ng tinuro ko sa inyo, kapag may kausap kayo or may i-address kayong tao sa pangungusap ninyo, bago kayo tumuloy dun sa iba niyong sasabihin, there should be a comma. Jezreel, kindly lend me your salary. Don't forget to write your answers on the comment section below. Don't forget to apply the proper spacing. Now let us move on to the next punctuation mark, which is the semicolon. Or in Filipino, tinatawag natin yan na tutuldok quit. Tutuldok quit. Dahil ganyan ang itsura niya. The semicolon is also part of the process in which pag nakita natin ito sa written or sa binabasa natin, nangangahulugan na kailangan nating huminga saglit bago natin ituloy yung binabasa natin. Semicolon is used to combine closely related sentences. Ginagamit natin ng semicolon kapag pagdudugtungin natin yung mga pangungusap na magkalapit yung kaisipan nila. Subukan nating alamin. Narito ang ibang halimbawa. Number 1. I assumed it was fun. I thought it was fun. And then, he assumed it was boring. So magkaugnay sila dahil parehong tumutukoy dun sa palagay nila na ukol dun sa bagay na pinag-uusapan nila. Para sa akin, it's fun. Para sa kanya, boring. Magkaugnay. Pinaghiwalay sila gamit ang semicolon. Another example is for the conjunctive adverbs. Ano ba yung conjunctive adverbs? We have in fact, however, therefore, for example. Ito yung halimbawa. This is a great novel. Ginamitan natin ng semicolon. In fact, kapag ang kasunod ng semicolon ay isang conjunctive adverb, which is in fact, after that word, gagamitan nyo ng comma. Gaya rin yung kaninang tinalakay natin sa paggamit ng comma. This is a great novel, semicolon. In fact, comma, it is one of the best I ever read. Kung mapansin ninyo, magkarugtong pa rin yung kaisipan nila. Dito nga lang sa pangalawang halimbawa, gumamit na tayo ng conjunctive adverb na in fact. Before we proceed to the word in fact, gumamit tayo ng semicolon. And now we are finally here on our last punctuation mark under the pauses, which is the colon. Colon. In Filipino, tinatawag natin yan na tutuldok. Tutuldok. Yung kanina, semicolon, tutuldok-kuwit, tutuldok-kuwit. Ito naman, colon, tutuldok. Paano nga ba natin siya ginagamit at saan natin siya dapat gamitin? The colon introduces information after an independent clause. Ginagamit natin ang colon kung magbibigay tayo ng impormasyon pagkatapos ng isang independent clause. Let's take a look at these examples. First one is for the list. Our cake shop specializes in these goodies: cheesecake, chocolate cake, and customized cake. By the way, I'm inviting you to like our Facebook page, Aubrey Sweet Delights. I also bake cakes together with my family, with my brother, who designs the cake most of the time. Pakilike nyo yung page. At kung malapit kayo sa lugar namin, maaari rin kayong umorder. Well, let's continue. Our cake shop specializes in these goodies: cheesecake, chocolate cake, and customized cake. Sabi, ginagamit natin ang colon kapag mag-i-introduce tayo ng information after the independent clause. So, nasan ba yung independent clause dito sa ating pangungusap o yung sugnay na makapag-iisa? Or yung isang complete sentence? Ang complete sentence dito ay ito. Our cake shop specializes in these goodies. That's an independent clause. Okay? Kaya naman after nyan, nag-introduce tayo ng information. We have the cheesecake, the chocolate cake, and the customized cake. Kaya bago i-introduce yung different information na yan, ginamitan natin ng colon. Next, for the clauses. I want to try this product, but there's one big problem. I'm afraid to do so. Dito, ginamit natin ang colon after introducing lists under one category in which nagbigay tayo ng goodies. Anong category niya? Nasa category yan ng goodies or yung mga sweets na maaaring makain. We have the cheesecake, chocolate cake, and customized cake. Mga lists. Dito naman, maaari natin gamitin ang colon kung may ibibigay tayong clause, sugnay, pagkatapos ng isang independent clause. Now, let's try to take a look at the sentence. I want to try this product, but there's one big problem. Meron tayong independent clause. I want to try this product, but there's one big problem. That's already one independent clause. Isang buong pangungusap na yan. At may gusto siyang sabihin na isang malaking problema niya. Kaya, hindi niya raw magawang subukan yung produkto. And then, bago niya i-introduce yun, gumamit ng colon. I'm afraid to do so. Now, let us try to apply the 3 punctuation marks under pauses: the comma, the semicolon, and colon. Let's analyze carefully each sentence and let's put the correct punctuation on their proper place. You may pause for a while this video and you may share your answers on the comment section below. Let's know the answers. For number 1, the most important principle in life is this: respect others. The most important principle in life is this: respect others. In this first sentence, there is an independent clause. And after an independent clause, there is a particular thing presented. There is a clause that was presented in the sentence. This is the independent clause. The most important principle in life is this. May gusto siyang sabihin na yung pinakamahalagang prinsipyo daw sa buhay ay ito. Dahil may gusto siyang i-introduce na clause, ang gagamitin natin ay colon. The most important principle in life is this: respect others. May in-introduce na clause which is respect others. Irespeto ang ibang tao. For number 2, Mrs. Ko is wealthy. However, she still lives a simple life. Mrs. Ko is wealthy. However, she still lives a simple life. Medyo mahaba-haba. Unawain natin. In the first part, mayroon tayong independent clause. Mrs. Ko is wealthy. That's already a complete sentence. Pero, may gustong sabihin pang additional information. Okay? Si Mrs. ko ay mayaman. Bagaman, mayaman na siya, nananatili pa rin namumuhay siya ng simple. She still lives a simple life. So before we proceed into this conjunctive adverb, however, maglalagay tayo ng semicolon. Mrs. ko is wealthy. Bakit semicolon? Dahil magkaugnay pa rin naman itong clause na to dun sa kasunod niyang clause. Okay? Ito ay isang independent clause at may karugtong siya na dependent clause. However, she still lives a simple life. Pero may kulang pa. After the conjunctive adverb, however, after this word, kailangan huminto tayo saglit. Magdadagdag tayo ng comma. Mrs. ko is wealthy. However, she still lives a simple life. Period. And for number 3, each learner comprehends in unique way. Teachers, therefore, must design differentiated activities. Ang haba, nakakalito, pero hindi. Unawain natin. For the first sentence, we have each learner comprehends in unique way. Bawat mag-aaral ay nakakaunawa sa iba't ibang paraan kung paano sila makaunawa. That's already an independent clause. Isang buong pangungusap. Now, let's take a look at the second sentence. Teachers, therefore, must design differentiated activities. Sabi ko sa inyo, kapag gagamit ng therefore, in fact, however, for example, yun ang mga tinatawag natin na conjunctive adverb. Kapag gagamit nun, dapat ihihiwalay natin using comma. So we have to use this. Teachers, therefore, comma, therefore, must design differentiated activities. Pansinin nyo, napalibutan yung therefore ng dalawang comma. Dahil kabilang yan sa tinatawag nating non-essential. Ibig sabihin, kahit alisin natin yan, buo pa rin yung ating pangungusap. Teachers must design differentiated activities. That's it. And now, let us move on to another punctuation mark. It is not part of the terminal and also the pauses. It is the apostrophe. Isa ito sa pinakamahalagang punctuation mark na dapat ay alam natin kung paano ginagamit. Dahil ako, whenever I read posts on social media, whenever I read comments, or even my students' outputs, ito yung isa sa maraming beses kong nakikitang nagkakamali ang mga mag-aaral. At dapat ay malaman natin, simple lang naman, dapat tandaan lang natin kung paano sila gagamitin. Firstly, ginagamit ang apostrophe to mark contraction. What is contraction? Contraction is yung pinaikling version ng dalawang salita. Pinag-combine na salita. Tandaan natin, for contracted words in English, hanggang dalawa lang ang pwede nating i-contract na words in English, such as I am. It will be I'm. She is. Magiging she's. Tingnan natin itong mga halimbawa. I'm a teacher. The contracted word here is I'm. That is a contracted version of the words I am. Okay? Ginamitan natin ng apostrophe. I'm. Madalas natin yung ginagamit. Why do we use contraction in words? Dahil, basically, mas madali siyang sabihin. Mas smooth sabihin na, I'm Aubrey. I'm your teacher. Mas smooth siya. Next, we have, she's pretty. She's pretty. The contracted word here is she's. We used apostrophe there. She's is a contracted version of she is. She is. And another is, he'd never accepted my offer. The contracted word here is he'd. He'd never accepted my offer. He'd is a contracted version of the words he would or he could. He'd. Those are the examples under contraction, kung saan ginagamit natin ang punctuation mark na apostrophe, and also ginagamit din natin ang apostrophe in place of omitted letters. Ano ibig sabihin ng omitted? Kapag sa isang word in English, mayroon tayong gustong paikliing salita at may aalisin tayong particular letter in that word. Example, the word do and not, nagiging don't, di ba? Ngayon, meron tayo ditong halimbawa, doesn't. Say it, doesn't. Doesn't, that is a shorter term for the word does not. Inalis natin dyan yung letter O. At pinagdugtong sila. Nung sila ay pinagdugtong, dahil may inalis tayo rito, dyan tayo naglagay ng apostrophe. Kaya naging doesn't. Naging doesn't. Okay? Inalis natin yung O dito, kaya naman pinalitan natin ng apostrophe. Doesn't. Tingnan natin to. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin doesn't at after nung does, ilalagay yung apostrophe. Mali. Dahil ang inalis nating letter ay yung letter O. Kaya dapat dito tayo naglagay ng apostrophe. Katulad nito, doesn't. Okay? Huwag kayong malilito. Ilalagay yung apostrophe kung saan inalis yung particular letter. Another example is this. They aren't. They aren't. At yung another version niya, they're not. Dito muna tayo sa una. They aren't. Ang contracted dito, or yung may inumit tayong letter, is yung sa aren't. The words in aren't are and not. Anong inalis nating titik? We omit the letter O. Kaya dyan tayo maglalagay ng apostrophe at pagdudugtungin natin sila. Kaya naging aren't. Dito natin inumit yung O, kaya naglagay tayo ng apostrophe. Pero, kapag ginamit natin sa pangusap, halimbawa ay, they aren't here. O kaya naman, they're not here. Mamimili lang tayo kung saan tayo gagamit nung apostrophe or kung saan tayo mag-o-omit. Hindi pwedeng nag-omit ka rito, nag-omit ka rin dito. Look at this example. They're not. Buo rito yung salitang not, pero idinugtong dito yung are. So, they are, ano napansin natin? Inalis, inumit ang letter A, kaya naglagay ng apostrophe at pinagdugtong sila. Naging there. This one. Naging there. Inalis yung A, nilagyan ng apostrophe, naging there. They're not. Pero mali na sabihin, there na, tapos may apostrophe pa dito, not. That will be wrong. Another use of the punctuation mark apostrophe is to show possession or to mark possession. Another term for possession is ownership o nagpapakita ng pag-aari. Let's take a look at these examples. For the first one, this is Yuna's bed. This is Yuna's bed. We use an apostrophe here for Yuna. Apostrophe S. This is Yuna's bed. It only means that the bed is being owned by Yuna. Yung kama ay pag-aari ni Yuna. Another example. Yesterday was my daddy's birthday. Daddy's birthday. Apostrophe S. Daddy's birthday. To show possession, tandaan natin, after apostrophe, dun sa pangalan ng may-ari, lalagyan din natin ng S. Apostrophe S. And that will show possession. Yesterday was my daddy's birthday. Ibig sabihin, yung birthday na yon ay sa daddy niya. Subukan nyo nga mag-isip ng ibang bagay na pag-aari ninyo. Ako, Aubrey's watch. Aubrey's marker. The watch is owned by Aubrey. The marker is owned by Aubrey. Subukan nyo nga mag-isip. Anong bagay yung mga nagpapakita ng pag-aari ninyo? Try to put your comment on our comment section below. But don't get confused if the noun ends in letter S. Baka kasi malito kayo, paano kapag nagtatapos na sa letter S yung noun? Do I still have to add an apostrophe and an S into it? O apostrophe na lang yung idadagdag? Let's take a closer look at these examples. Lucas' parents are here. The name Lucas ends in letter S. Lucas, nagtatapos sa letter S. Dito sa unang pangungusap natin, naglagay lang tayo ng apostrophe. Lucas. Lucas' parents. And if you will read that, that will convey na yung magulang na yon ay magulang ni Lucas. Tama yan, kung ganyan ang gagawin natin. kung maglalagay lang tayo ng apostrophe after the noun that ends in letter S. Pero, let's take a look at these. Lucas' parents are here. Kung ang idadagdag natin ay apostrophe at S sa isang noun na nagtatapos sa letter S, tama ba yan or mali? That's still correct. Tama pa rin po yan. Okay? Depende sa inyo kung ano yung mas komportable kayong gamitin. Pero ako kasi, pag ako sumusulat, usually ito ang gamit ko. Kapag nagtatapos sa letter S ang noun, nilalagyan ko na lang ng apostrophe. So, kung susulat kayo ng isang paragraph or ng isang essay at gumamit kayo ng ganitong form, yung mga nouns na nagtatapos sa S ay nilagyan nyo lang ng apostrophe, for the entire paragraph or the entire essay, ganito yung gagamitin nyo. Pero kung ang ginamit niyo sa isang noun na nagtatapos sa S, to show possession ay apostrophe S, then for the entire write-up, ganun ang gagamitin nyo para may consistency. Pero pareho po silang tama. Now, let's take a look at these. Ito naman yung tinatawag nating plural. Plural nouns. For the first one, the learners' worksheets are done. For the second one, the learners' worksheets are done. For the first one, this is wrong. Mali yan. Bakit? Kasi kapag ang isang noun ay plural na, may S, hindi na dapat dagdagan ng apostrophe S. Ang idadagdag na lang ay apostrophe. That's why it's wrong. To make that correct, ito ang corrected version. The learners' worksheets are done. The learners' worksheets are done. Nagdagdag na lang tayo ng apostrophe dahil plural ang learners. Ang idadagdag lang dyan ay S. Learners' worksheets. Worksheets ng mga learners. Now, let's take a look at these possessive pronouns. Why should we touch this topic? Kasi po, ito yung karaniwang dahilan kung bakit nalilito tayo sa gamit ng apostrophe. Karaniwan, ang gamit na sa kanya ay possessive pronoun, pero nilalagyan pa natin ng apostrophe dahil akala natin yun ang tama. We have these possessive pronouns. Ibig sabihin po ng possessive, shows ownership, nagpapakita ng pagmamay-ari. Pronoun, yun yung mga panghalip na pumapalit sa nouns, sa pangungusap. We have yours, in Filipino, sa'yo. Hers, sa kanya, na babae, hers. Ours, sa atin. Theirs, sa kanila. It's, tumutukoy doon sa pag-aari ng maaaring hayop, pag-aari ng isang bagay. Let's look at these examples. Number 1, the pen is yours. The pen is yours. Karaniwan, yung iba, may mababasa tayong sinusulat nila yung yours na possessive pronoun na ganyan, may apostrophe. That is wrong. Kung possessive pronoun ang gamit ng yours mo, at walang word na ganyan, yours, wala pong ganyan. Ito ang tama, yours. Ibig sabihin, ang panulat ay iyo. The pen is yours. Number 2, is this room ours? Ang possessive pronoun natin dito ay ours. Or in Filipino, that is atin. Minsan, may nababasa ako, sinusulat yan ng ours. Wala rin pong salitang ours na may apostrophe S. Walang ganyan. So, the correct usage is this room ours? Ito bang kwartong ito ay sa atin? And number 3, our house is bigger than theirs. Theirs is a possessive pronoun which means, in Filipino, sa kanila. Their, marami, sa kanila. Ano po? Maling sabihin na theirs with apostrophe. Walang ganyang salita sa English. Theirs means sa kanila. Maling isulat siya ng may apostrophe S. Huwag tayong malilito na kapag ginamit natin itong possessive pronouns na yours, hers, ours, theirs, its, ay gagamitan natin ng apostrophe. That's a big no-no. Now, let's take a look at these. Dito kasi karaniwang nalilito yung iba sa paggamit ng apostrophe. Ito nga yung its, pero maling sabihin its with apostrophe. Dahil it's already a possessive pronoun. It already shows ownership. And it acts as a determiner. Let's take a look at these example. The bird spreads its wings. Ang word natin na its dito is a possessive pronoun. It talks about the wings of the bird. Kapag ginamit natin yan sa pangungusap, hindi na natin kailangang lagyan pa ng apostrophe. The bird spreads its wings. Ginagamit natin ang it sa hayop or sa bagay. Pwedeng sabihin natin, the dog wagged its tail. The tail of the dog. That's it. Pero, gagamitin natin yung ganitong version, it is, na karaniwang kinalilituhan ng marami, kung contracted version siya ng it is. That will be its. Magkatunog sila pero magkaiba. It is time. It will be it's time to eat. O kaya naman, it's been a while since I saw you. Huwag tayong malito. Ginagamit lang natin yung it's with apostrophe kung tumutukoy tayo sa contracted version ng words na it is or it has. Dito natin siya gagamitin. It's time to eat. It's been a while since I saw you. Pero kapag tumutukoy na sa ownership or sa possessive pronoun, ang gagamitin natin ay ito na, it's, na walang apostrophe. Now, let us try to answer this sort of quiz to check how well you understand the topic. You may pause this video for a while and don't be shy to share your answers on the comment section below. Let us take a look at the sentences. Number 1. There are 3 things you must do to accomplish your goals. Be focused, be persistent, and just keep going. Number 2. The store has inconsiderate staffs. Moreover, their products are expired. Number 3. If you could go abroad, what country would you prefer? Number 4, stop, that might cause you injury. And number 5, she's waiting at the bus stop. Let's try to answer. Number 1, there are 3 things you must do to accomplish your goals. So, ibig sabihin, may gusto siyang banggitin ng mga bagay na dapat gawin. In this first sentence, gumamit muna tayo ng independent clause na mag-i-introduce sa list of particular things to do. There are 3 things you must do to accomplish your goals. So we need to use colon. Be focused, comma, be persistent, comma, and just keep going, period. That's for number 1. For number 2, the store has inconsiderate staffs. Moreover, their products are expired. The store has inconsiderate staffs. That's already an independent clause, and then followed by a dependent clause. Moreover, their products are expired. After this first independent clause, gagamit tayo ng semicolon dahil may karugtong siya na isang statement na kaugnay niya rin. Pero gumamit tayo rito ng conjunctive adverb. Gumamit tayo rito ng word na moreover, and then after that, we need to add comma. The store has inconsiderate staffs. Moreover, their products are expired. With apostrophe. Gigil na gigil siya. Okay? Number 3, if you could go abroad, what country would you prefer? If you could go abroad, comma, what country would you prefer? Question mark. Number 4, stop that might cause you injury. Stop that shows or that conveys a strong emotion. Stop that might cause you injury. Pwedeng tuldok, pwedeng exclamation. And then for number 5, she's waiting at the bus stop. She is. That is a conjuncted version of the words she and is. So there's a missing apostrophe. She is. And that's our lesson for today. Have you learned something from this video? If yes, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Smash that subscribe button below and don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our next lessons. It's shoutout time at ngayon isa-shoutout ko yung mga tagapanood natin na talagang eager matutol. Every videos may comments sila. Pero unahin ko itong nag-message sa aking Facebook page na Learn English with Teacher Aubrey. Kung hindi nyo pa na ilalike, maaari nyo ilike. Mula ito kay Bel Valiente. Hello, Ate Bel, Miss Bel. Sabi niya, Hi Teacher Aubrey, thank you kay God sa buhay mo. Wow, nakakatawa ng puso. Napakagaling mong magturo, napakadaling maintindihan. Alam mo ba, habang nagpa-plancha ako ng mga damit ko, nanonood ako sa'yo. Sayang nga lang kasi ngayon lang din kita natagpuan sa YouTube. Kaya ako, ang bago mong estudyante ngayon, palagi na akong present sa klase mo. Promise. Well, itong si Ate Belle, nasa Saudi Arabia siya ngayon. Mahaba-haba yung chats namin. Thank you po, Ate Belle. Lagi kang mag-iingat dyan and I'm really happy na na-appreciate mo itong ginagawa kong pagtuturo. Nawapatuloy mong subaybayan ang iba't iba ko pang i-upload na videos. Maraming salamat po. Okay, next natin isa-shoutout ay si Jason Berha. Jason Berha, ayan, nandiyan yung mga sagot niya dun sa last video ko for the English for Beginners regarding the nouns, singular and plural. And then sabi niya, salamat po at unti-unti na akong natututo. Pa-shoutout po. Ayan, i-shoutout na kita, Jason Berha. Maraming salamat. Next naman ay si Gaspelli47 Gaspel. Shoutout kita, Gaspelli47, kasi napansin ko, ang dami niyang comments sa lahat ng videos. Maraming salamat po dahil pinapanood mo lahat ng videos ko. Sabi niya, vibrant as always, Miss Aubrey. Thank you so much for appreciating. Nawa ay patuloy mong subaybayan ang iba't iba ko pa pong videos. Next naman, isa-shoutout ko si Dominga Malanot. Sabi niya, maraming salamat po sa pagtuturo po ninyo ng English. Marami po kayong matutulungan tulad ko. God bless po. Ako po nanonood sa inyo dito sa Bahrain. Ayan, kumusta po sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin dyan sa Bahrain. Lagi po kayong mag-iingat. Another is from Jazzy C. Sabi niya, thanks teacher. Gusto ko talagang magpa-load para sa data ko. Para always kong mapanood ang video mo. Wow, marami pong salamat sa pag-e-effort na magpapaload pa kayo para magka-data at mapanood po yung videos ko. Marami pong salamat. Another is from Miss Charity Astrero. Very interesting. This is exactly the content I have been looking for to watch because most of the time I get confused about when to use these prepositions. I love the way and how you explain the topic, the way you pronounce every single word. It's just so amazing and inspiring watching your videos. Wow. I'm excited to see and learn more from you. God bless and more power. Maraming salamat, Miss Charity. Sobrang appreciate ko po itong comment mo. And lastly, ay shoutout natin si Edman Cometa. Sabi niya, Teacher Aubrey, the best ka talagang magturo. Fan mo na ako. Pa-shoutout naman. Thanks, Ma'am Aubrey. Ayan, shoutout na kita, Edman Cometa. Maraming salamat po muli sa lahat ng patuloy na nanonood ng aking videos. And I'm really excited to share more learning English videos with you. Once again, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button below and also the notification bell para lagi po kayong updated. And till our next learning English video, bye for now!